welcome back to my YouTube channel. I promised you guys that this is going to be a long tutorial, so I'm going to be taking you guys both the cutting and also the sewing aspect of it. So today I'll be taking you guys on how to make a pencil skirt. We've already cut it. If you've not watched my previous video, please check my previous video for you to know how to cut a basic pencil skirt for beginners. Not just for beginners, because sometimes it all depends on where you learn. I feel like there are some things you will learn in this class even as an intermediate student. Do you understand? There are some things you can learn. So intermediate, beginners, but strictly for beginners anyways. But as an intermediate student, if you feel like you want to, participate, it's okay, because there are one or two things you can still learn and, just make adjustments depending on your fashion background. Before we go to the sewing machine, I want to make one very important point. Like before we go to the sewing machine, there's something you need to do before you go to the sewing machine. All right. So now the first thing you will do, when sewing, the first thing we'll do when sewing a basic a pencil skirt is our darts, right? So now we're going to take the measurement of our darts. We're going to be sewing our dart first. That's the first thing you do. So we're going to be taking our measurement for our darts. So remember we did 5.5, but please note something. We're taking it from the up. When I was creating the pattern, you'll see that, let me show you guys so you don't be confused. This is the pattern. Thank God I still have it. You see there was half an inch upward, so I left half an inch. So if you're taking the dart now, because we're not using our pattern, we're keeping this one away. If you're taking half an inch, because now there's no half an inch here, just take it all straight. So instead of doing 5.5, you just do 6. All right, you just do 6. I hope you can see. And let me use chalk. You just do 6. All right, so we did 4, 4. Because before you do your that, make sure this is the point, iron it so that when you sit on the machine, you won't have to be standing up and down. Just press it down. Press it down for clean work. Your work has to be clean. Don't just assume. So press it down. Okay, because we're going to be going in by half an inch. All right, so this is a half an inch. We're going to be joining it with half an inch. And then when it gets to this point, let me use my ruler so you see. So I want you to prepare your darts from your cutting table. This is how you do it. We good? Okay. So you see, I'd already prepared everything from the table. So now it's just to sew. So we sew and then we stitch first, and then don't rush it though, please. This is that. And so you don't run out of the lines. Then you start. Okay. So we've done this one. So I'm going to be doing the rest, but I'm going to be doing it off camera. Okay. So when I'm done, I'll show you guys how I ironed it, because before you proceed to any other thing, you need to iron your darts very, very well. So we'll finish with our darts. This is our darts. So we need to iron it properly. Like, this is where you show your ironing skills. We need to melt this darts, like iron it really, really well. So let's start with the front. Let's start with the front. So let's start with the front. Because I have no, okay, I'll come. Let me start with this one first. I'm doing this because my table is not padded. So So please, I told you this place is where you show your ironing skills. You iron it, like use the steam so that all these things will just, to look as if there's no dart. Your dart will be flawless. You get what I'm saying? Your dart will be flawless. Are you seeing? Can you see how flawless it is? Uh-huh. So let me do it one more time before I move to the next part. So this is it. So you see, I had to open this one up because it was folding. I had to do that because my table is not padded. So just looking for support. Uh-huh. Open it up and then iron. You see your darts. Hmm? You see how clean it is. Okay. So I'm going to do the rest, and when I come back, I'll show you guys what we've done so far. We're done ironing both lining and our essay. Sorry, aligning and our main fabric. Don't mind me. Aligning and our main fabric were done. Okay, so you see, ironing is key. My staff will tell me that, Mama, you don't even know how to iron. If you see what that guy irons, if you see the way he takes his time to iron. So ironing is key. So when you're done with your outfit, you don't need to start struggling to iron. Once you're done, you just stand up and then that's all. You don't need any ironing again. You see, so this is the front, this is the main fabric, and then this is the lining. So one more thing before we go to the sewing machine, we need to prepare. I told you when you are sewing, you prepare most of your things on the cutting table. So before you go to the sewing machine, this is the next stage. This is the back, right? Let me shift this iron. So this is the back of uh our skirt. Okay, this is the butt side. So you bring this both together like this. You put them together like this. Okay, and then you mark 1 inch all the way down. 1 inch all the way down. You do the same thing to the lining as well. Okay, so you mark 1 inch all the way down. Let me remove this one first so I don't confuse myself. You mark 1 inch all the way down. So we're going to be doing it sharp sharp. This is for our zipper allowance. Please don't assume me to take your time. You see the way I'm taking my time to do it. Don't assume anything, just take it down, mark it all down. Assumption can be very dangerous, except if you're really, really good. Even if you're good, anything that has to do with measurements, don't assume, don't rush it, just, you know. So you take it all the way down. That's what I'm doing with my chalk. I'll do the same thing to the lining, you know. I'll do the same thing to the lining. I'll do the same thing to the lining. So this is it all the way down. Okay. So this is it. So we just put it back with this. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is it together, and then we'll sew all the way down. So we'll just sew all the way down. So when we're done, we'll come back to our cutting table, and then I'll show you how we're going to open it up and iron it out. Then we'll do our calculation on how to join our skirts. Very, very important. So see you guys shortly. This is the stitch I run. Like I ran this on this 1 inch that we marked earlier on. So I had to go to the same machine to sew it. To sew it. There's nothing technical about it. So this is the lining and the main fabric. You see, everything is equal. Please, it shouldn't be longer than one. Yeah, so if you're noticing anything, any excesses, make sure you trim them out, okay? So now I'm going to be teaching you how to iron this back. It's very important. So what you do is to open it up like this. Open it completely up. Then this is what you do. You open it, and then here's my net, and then you start your ironing. Please, I'll keep singing it in your ears. Oh, make sure you do a good like finishing. Is very important. When you are sewing and you see your dress, you just be smiling like this is so neat, this is so nice, this is what you do. Time, dedication, you need to pay attention, you need to be very intentional when you're making outfits. Like you need to be very, very intentional. Then you come to this upper side, and then you iron. So I'm going to do the same thing on the fabric, sorry, on the lining. But first, uh we're not done yet. We're not done yet. So we'll use our bust arm to get this place right. So this one, you don't just press it to your iron like that. Okay. So this is the butt side. So you iron it like this, and then you come like this, iron. Do you get? So we're going to do the same thing on the lining. Okay. And then I'll be showing you the next stage before we proceed to our sewing machine. So you come to the front side as well, open it up, open it up, and then you iron. Okay, very important. Don't just use your, are you seeing it? Don't just use, see, this is your butt side. This is what will accommodate your butt. Don't just, please, don't just use your iron and press it down. No, that's error. The only place you press down is this down part and the upper side. Okay, down and the upper side. So we're going to be doing same thing to our lining. Are you seeing that our dress, our skirt is already coming out? If you follow the instruction, and you do exactly as I say, even better off. If you have anything, if you do exactly as I say, trust me. Look, are you seeing it? You see how it's coming out? Really nice. Okay, you see. So we'll do the same thing to the lining, and then I'll get back to you guys. We're done with the ironing of the dart and everything, the trimming, everything is looking perfect already. Okay, so now I'm going to be showing you guys you know how to take a proper measurement, final measurement when you want to join it together. This method applies to also when I'm making blouse, dress. If you can learn this method, trust me, for me, we all have different methods we do, you understand? But at the end of it all, we're trying to achieve one goal, perfect fit. But for the sake of this class, this is my method of my own measurement. So if you apply it, it's been working for me for years. Trust me, it's been working for me for years. So if you apply it, it will work for you too. Okay. So first of all, we're going to be starting with the front we're going to be starting with the front. So if you see what I wrote down, you see I indicated front, back, right? Then waist, hip, and knee. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking the measurement for the front first. You fold it into two like this. You fold it into two. This is just the front um panel. Okay, are you seeing it? This is the front, so make no mistake. We'll do the front first, then we'll go to the back. So we'll take the front panel. So for the front, and please don't forget, whatever measures you take, anything you do for your fabric, any amendment, any adjustment, also do the same thing to the lining, because we're going to be doing inner sewing. Inner sewing means sewing that you don't see stitches outside, no thread, nothing. Everything is going to be sealed inside. You won't see it. So we're locking everything inside. So you need to be very careful with your measurements. Everything you need to be very intentional. Okay, so let's go ahead with our measurement. So for the front, this is the waist. I've already written it down so I don't waste anybody's time here. So we have 7.5. Okay, so 7.5 plus 7.5, it will give you 15. Here's the 15. That's for the front. So for the hip, I'm going to make this fast. So for the hip, we have 13. 13 plus 13, 26. We have 26. So for the knee round, we have, for the knee round for the front, we have 11. Okay, so 11 plus 11, 22. Okay, we've done that one. You write whatever you have for the front, you write it down. See, you can screenshot it. Okay, this is it. So now we'll go to the back. You keep this one aside, you come to the back. All right, so the back also, you will take the waist, we'll check it and see still 7.5. So this is the back, 15. We've written it down. So you come to the hip measurement, 13, 26, 13 plus 13, 26. You come to the waist, the knee round, 10. So this one is 10. So we have 20. So you see the thing about this measurement, while we're doing it like this, taking it separately, because most times the back and the front, they are not the same thing in most cases. So you take the measurements, no matter what. Don't assume. Just take the measurements, okay? Just take the measurement. So we've written everything down. So what you do now, right? You see your waist, the front waist is 15, back waist is 15. So you add this one up. 15 plus 15 will give you 30, right? Then 30 minus the actual waist measurement, which is 28. 30 minus the actual waist measurement, 28, it will give you 2. Then 2 divided by 4, 0.5. You will be wondering where is the 4 coming from. Remember, we folded this fabric into 4. This is the front base and this is the back. Everything is folded into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will give you 0.5. So the same thing with the hip plus the front hip plus the back hip. Whatever you have, 20, we have 26 plus 26, 52. 52 minus 44, which is the actual hip measurement. Yes, measurement 44, right? You minus 44 from this 52. Then you will now, it will give you 8. Then the remaining one, whatever you have remaining, you divide it by 4. Whatever you have, you put it there. I have 2. Then then the new measurement. So we have the new measurement. The nail front is 22, back is 20. 20 plus 20, 42. 42 minus 37, that's 5. So 5 divided by 4 to give you 1.5. So that is that for this measurement. And then what you do now, you start imputing your measurements on your fabric. So we're doing it on the fabric. I'm going to do the lining separately off camera. Okay, so we're going to be doing this one on fabric. So now this is my front base and this is the back. Now I want to join it together. You see how clean it's looking, very clean. We're going to join it together. We'll go to the sewing machine, but before we do that, we'll get our measurement here. So here I'm going to do this place. So 1.5. Okay, 1.5. Then the hip is 2. Then the knee is 1.5. Waist is 0.5, sorry. Then the hip is 2 inches, while the knee is 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. So try and use your free hand. Okay, in this case we're going to be using our free hand. So this is what you do. You see the way I'm doing it. Pamper it, don't rush it, follow it as if your life depends on it. Make sure it's accurate. Yeah, we got it. Okay, so you see what I did. You see how smooth it is. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this is the back. So have there's a front. So I'm going to take another measure, another one on this side. So this is the back. So we'll do 1.5. Oh, sorry, half an inch. Um, half an inch. Then 2. Then 1.5. 1.5. 1.5. And then we connect. Don't rush it, okay? Just take your time. Just be romancing it like this. Just be doing it like this. You'll get it. I trust you'll get it. So that's all. See, if you follow this method there, you'll come back and thank me. So this is it. So we'll go to the sewing machine and get this done. Okay? We are done with our sewing. So we're going to be ironing. We're going to be ironing. So you open it up like this, and then release your steam on it. Just, just release it. Okay? Don't be scared. Don't be scared. You do it all the way down. Like you do it all the way down. You open it up, and then you iron. You do the same thing to the other side. Release your steam. At Susie Wheels, we don't play with iron, you know. So you flip it to the other side. You flip it to the good face. You flip it to the good face. And then you push it out. Right? I told you by the time you finish your dress or your skirt, sorry, you don't need to iron anymore. You don't need to iron. You see, everything is just coming out fine, gorgeous. Iron. Don't say you want to finish before you start ironing. No, that's a dirty job. That's a dirty job. Trust me. So you make sure you get your measurements right, okay, before you do any ironing. You make sure you get your measurement right. You make sure you get your measurement right before you even trim out the excesses, because we're going to be trimming it out. Okay. So you see how see the way our skirt is looking. If yours is not looking like this, please just forget about, do something else, like go start all over again, start the class, go through the videos again, and redo it. That's to come out like this. You're not done with your skirt here, but it's already looking like it's already giving. It's giving already. Are you seeing? Don't forget to use your bust arm too. Just look at this. Are you seeing our butts? This is what is going to be accommodating our butts, right? So let's take this one in a bit. Let's press it down. Please don't press this side. Oh. If you want to press it, use your bust arm to do it. You see? So your skirt has to be looking like this. Without anybody wearing it, it has to be looking like this. You get me? So now, what we're going to be doing next is to check our measurements. If everything is okay. The same thing, the way you did this one is the same thing you do to the lining. Okay, so we're done with the lining. This is the lining. You see everything. This is the lining. You see how the lining has, like, you see how the lining too is looking. I've done the lining. I had to do this one for you guys to see. This one I did it behind the scene. You see how the lining is looking as well. The next stage now is to sew our zip to it. The zip is the next stage. Okay, so this is the lining. This is the main fabric. So, and please let me remind you guys, this is a bandless skirt. There's no band. It's a bandless skirt. So we're going to be taking everything inside. It's a bandless skirt. So what we will do right now is, let's prepare. So this is our zip, right? We'll go down by 9 inch. I don't like doing it because this measurement, this client has bought. You understand? So I don't want a situation whereby it will be very difficult for her to wear it. So most times when I'm making skirt dress for a plus size, like a big size, someone that has really big butt, I go down like 9 to 10 inches, so it come down very well. Do you understand? So I'm going to be taking it down by 9 or 9.5. I think I will do 9.5. Yeah, so 9.5. Let me do 10. Let me do 10. Let me do 10. There's no limits. So I'll do 10. So please, this is not advisable. You can use your scissors or your razor. Yeah. I want to prepare everything here before I take it to my sewing machine. So I did 10. I came down by 10. So what you do before you fix your zip, we're not fixing the zip on the lining. So before you fix your zip, make sure you stitch. Do you get? Make sure you stitch it very well so it doesn't lose. Make sure you stitch it. So I've done the main fabric. This is where we are going to be fixing our zip. Now, like I said, I don't want to be going up and down. So if you see, you see that these skirts, I told you whatever you are doing to your main fabric, you also do it to the lining. Okay, but in this case now, we want to turn our lining and the fabric together. So what you do is, remember, we left 1 inch allowance, sewing allowance at the bottom of our skirt. Okay, so because this is an invisible sewing, like we're not seeing anything, we're locking everything inside. So before you turn your skirts, right, with your lining, that 1 inch that we left, you're going to mark it out. You're going to mark it out. You mark it out. Okay. So we'll mark it out and then we'll cut it out. I want to rule it. We'll now cut it out. So that our skirts will be able to lap well when we turn it. Because when we turn it, we're going to drag it in. You don't want your lining to be showing. Okay? You don't want your lining to be showing. So when we drag it in, is our fabric that will be showing. So now for our slits, we're going to be doing, my clients want high slits. So we're going to be doing like 7. The skirt is short. So we're going to be doing 7. So this is our slit. We'll get to that part. You know, we'll get to that part. So our slit is 7. We'll get to that part. I told you guys we're not fixing our zip on the line. It's on the main fabric. So before you fix your zip, let me show you guys from the cutting table. You turn your skirt to the back side. Okay, you turn it to the back side, and please, we went down by 10 inches. All right, don't forget to stitch this place so it doesn't lose. So you stitch it before you put your zip. So this is how you make sure you remove all this thread. You don't want your work to be rough. So you remove all this thread, remove it, make sure everything is clean. So please don't forget to stitch it. So this is how you're going to be placing your zip. This is the good side, right? You just cover it. The good side will be facing down like this. Now you start from the bottom. Make sure you leave extra allowance. Just leave extra allowance. Okay. I might not show you how I fix the zip on the sewing machine. Okay. But this is what you will do. You place it like this. This is a good face, this is a bad face. Turn your fabric to the bad face. Okay, now this zip, face it down. The good face will be facing down. Leave extra allowance as much as you can, because our zip is still long. So you face it down, and then you place it like this. You sew from the bottom. I sew from the bottom. you know you place it down and then you sew. When you finish sewing the first side, you turn it and then you sew the next side from the top. That's how I sew. Like, I'm comfortable sewing my zip this way. It depends on how you want to put it. But the most important thing is, let it come out really, 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 really clean. I fixed one side of the zip. I just needed to show you guys, before I do the second part, right? Like I said, you place it, see, the good side will be facing down. Now, I started my sewing from the bottom, okay, and I took it to this place, from the bottom to the top. That's what I did, right? And then, if I'm sewing the second side, I'll flip it to the other side, so I'll be starting from the upper side. But first, before now, see my zip. Hmm? You see how neatly done it is? Nothing is showing. There's no extra allowance. See how done. So before you flip it to the other side, before you sew the other side, make sure that this one is going down freely, because sometimes you you might just sew, maybe there's thread or something, maybe there's a little bit of error. So just for you to be sure, you check to see that there's easy flow down. Okay, so we are good, right? There's no obstruction here, everything is good. So i'll I'll go and sew the second side, which, see, this is how I'm flipping it to the other side, right? And then also,
So we're done fixing our zip. So you turn it to the good side of your skirts. Let me show you guys how our zip is looking. You see how our zip is looking. Make sure, please, you stitch the end of the zip, so it doesn't, you know, pull off or something. So you see, if your zip is not looking like this, please take it off and watch the video very well and do something about it, because your zip has to be, you needs to sit properly. So we need to check if everything is okay. There's no, you know, thread hooking it or fabric or, anything. So, you know, we did all of that. See the way our skirt is looking. So now let's move to our slit. So I had to open it up a bit, you know. So you make sure you stitch it. I kept emphasizing on the stitching. So at this point, we're going to be turning our fabric and the lining together. So what you need to do, you place the back side of the lining, which is the slit side, the back side of the lining and the back side of the fabric. But please listen, I told you guys that whatever you do to your fabric, also do it to your lining, because at this stage we are, if you manipulate anything, you're going to hear it though, because your fabric and your lining has to be the same thing. So when it gets to this point, there's no way for you to manipulate it. Like if you're sewing, one side will be longer than the other, and you wouldn't want that. So make sure you do all the stress on your sewing machine. So at this point, you hold the slits, the back slits, the lining slits, and the main fabric, and then you just sew 1/2 inch. So we're done sewing it 1/2 inch. On each point, make sure you open the allowance. Don't just sew it like that. Open it up before you sew, so everything will sit properly and it will lap very well in case you're ironing it. So now let's flip it. So what you do, make sure you remove all the threads from the skirt. You don't want to see thread roaming around your beautiful skirt here. So you flip it, take the lining inside of your fabric. Remember that 1 inch I told you guys about? We took 1 inch from the lining and we did not take from the fabric. This is the result of it, because you wouldn't want your lining to be coming out of your skirt. Your client won't want that. So this is the result of the 1 inch. The fabric has to show more than you just drag the lining inside. So you see, for confirmation, this is the 1 inch. So by the time you take everything up, everything is sitting properly. No one is longer than the other. So at this point, let's iron out our 1 inch. So you see me ironing this thing. I kept emphasizing on, please iron. As you're cutting, you're ironing. Do you understand? As you're cutting, you're ironing. You see how neat the skirt is inside out. Everything is so neat. Everything is sitting properly. So I'm ironing out the 1 inch. You see how it's looking very clean. Make sure you use your steam iron. Remove all the threads on the body. You flip it to the other side, iron it, and also check the 1 inch for confirmation, because there are some sides that will be longer than the other side. All you need to do is to drag it in a bit, and that's all. At this point, we're going to be turning the top of our skirts. Is the same way we did the down parts. That's the bottom. I told you guys this is a bandless skirt. It does not have band. Do you understand? So we're going to be turning. It's the same way you did the bottom part, you do the upper one. This one is just a little bit tricky. You see the way I'm turning it, you know. So that's how you just follow it up and sew half an inch all through. There's nothing difficult about it.
So we are done with the turning of our skirts. This is it. I told you it's half an inch. Remember this half an inch that we took on our pattern, right? This half an inch. So that's what you're going to be sewing in. So we have to sew it in. But please, after sewing, make sure you remove all this thread. I'm going to remove it behind the camera, you know. So I had to cut out my zipper allowance. The excess is too much. So I had to cut it out. So we're going to be ironing it, and then once I'm done ironing it, I'm going to be showing you guys how it looks. And then the last thing we're going to be doing is how, like, we're going to be turning our zip and also our our slits, you know. That's the remaining thing. That's what is remaining. So yeah, I'll show you guys. Let me iron the upper part first before we move to the zipper and the slit. To the end of our class. So this is our slit, you see. So if you notice, there's a little space here. When you're turning it, you need to leave. Some people used to tear, they'll just tear it a bit so they can use their hand to pass. But I don't want to go through all of that. This one is okay. So I did my turning from this point. Okay. So you can use any gum, you know, to just seal it up. Do you understand? So now we're done our slits. So there's no gum in this skirt, no single gum. We didn't use any gum at all. You see what I told you guys about ironing? Hmm? Ironing is very important. From your cutting, as you're sewing, you're ironing. We're done with our skirts. There's no point for me to iron anymore again. Everything is properly ironed. This is our skirts. I'm coming. Let me show you. So this is our skirts. You see how beautiful our skirt is looking. This is the back. So if your skirt is not looking like this, please go back to your drawing board, check very well, and see. So please like my video, subscribe to my YouTube channel to keep the ministry moving. Please also share this video, okay? And then you can drop your comments on the comment section as well. So thank you guys for watching.